And what's your overall? You said silver is your goal, or is that just short term?
A short-term goal. I mean, long-term, you know, I just want to get more familiar with the game, getting good macros. Part of my part-time job is actually I'm an esports coach at a college.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying. Yeah, believe it or not, but my Super Smash Brothers is actually my game of choice. That one I'm much better in.
You know, it's part of analysis to look at a game state and be like, all right, what's happening here? What are the cards that I'm dealt? But yes, you shouldn't really just be like, ah, team sucks either.
Yeah. So they wanted to invade here, in this one, but yeah, we end up getting the first blood out of it.
Pick up a kill. Actually like that you didn't recall. I think that's a mistake that people would make in that situation, where it's like you get a kill and you feel like you have to recall, but the thing is if you recall, you're gonna miss so much XP. So I would rather just play the lane state out normal and just wait for a good timing. But here's the thing though, you have no sums. So that means since you have no sums, you don't really want to push all crazy. You can get ganked pretty easily. And so right now, what I would be doing as soon as I start establishing a push, do you know how waves work at all?
In general, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here you're going to be pushing into the enemy turret. You know, at that point, as soon as I recognize that, okay, we're pushing in, I'm going to just jump right up into river and I'm just going to drop a ward somewhere like where my mouse, can you see my mouse?
Yeah, I can see you.
So like right in here. Yeah. The reason why is because without sums, you're pretty exploitable. Anybody. Okay. So when I think of Swain in bot lane, what I think is pre-6, this champion is free food. Okay. So when you have no sums, you need to make sure that you understand how exploitable your champion actually is, and we don't get caught by any ganks. Thankfully, it's a Diana, so I don't suspect that anything bad's gonna happen to us. But it's still important. Like right now, there's no ward coverage.
Nothing really bad happened to me so far, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Like
this should be, yeah, just because you have no sums and you have a rel with hard engage and just a good habit to think, okay, I don't have some, so I'm easy to kill. I just need to see the gank coming so I can back down if I need to. So you're doing a good job pressuring the lane. What are you doing here? You know, sometimes there's a value in just not throwing an ability in spots like these. I'll show you what I mean. Like, you really want to squeeze the maximum value out of situations like these. Here, you know that you're miles ahead of the spot, right? And these guys just are never, ever, ever going to really be able to contest you. You've got a wave right here. But you do this, like, max range Q or max range E thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess maybe you're just getting juked by the stacks because you thought she would take more than one auto to clear it or something. Maybe that's what you were thinking.
Sounds like what I was thinking, yeah.
Because if you look at the support item stacks, remember that they can hit it with one auto. It's that little orb that goes around, the scoofy orb thing here.
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
If you see that,
I always have the spell thief's edge, so I don't see it.
Right. So like when you're in those situations, the reason I'm nitpicking this is because when they go to farm, that's where your best chance of hitting these grabs are going to be.
Yep.
So try to imagine like what it's going to look like animation wise. So now we're going to ward, kind of a goofy ward. It doesn't like it's timed weird. As a rule of thumb, the jungler is going to already be done with their clear usually around like 3:15. So this seems to be a little late. But like it's okay. It's not that bad. It's just if you ward and they're in the bush, you're just probably dead.
So in general, ward before 3.
Yeah, because you want to see, like, again, since we didn't have any sums.
Right.
It's very scary. Now I like that you guys are pressuring the lane hard or whatever. But it's very, very scary if I mean now you're seeing the hard engage.
Yeah, I pick up the kill on Vayne.
Yeah.
want to say, if I recall correctly, we won this lane but lost the game.
Right.
I mean, our jungle was out in no man's land. Now, to be fair, our wave was pushed up the entire time. So he's not coming bot, but we didn't need him to. But I think he was just kind of feeding everywhere else.
They finally recalled. I don't mind this recall. We go. Well, let me look at builds real quick on Swain. I haven't seen builds on support Swain in a while. Just need to see what they're running and see if I can give any insight that's worth a damn on this. So he's... Yeah, that's normally... Well, wait a second here. That's actually not. That's actually not the normal at all. Interesting. Yeah. Kind of normal in Plat Plus, but the higher up you go, that's actually not what's ran very often. So it looks like... It's a pretty low sample, but it looks like your best bet for a item right off the rip looks to be Rylai's, actually. Based on data that I have, yeah, from players that are really good. Yeah, it looks like Rylai's is going to give you the most value. Leandri's is solid as a rush for sure, but Rylai's is the big gun. It looks like.
NEACE, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with porofessor.gg?
Yeah.
That's typically what I use to get my builds and runes.
Well, let me change that for you. So what you should be using in general, and what I use, is Porofessor's okay, but you need to understand that the data is driven in such a way where you just get fucking noob data mixed in. And like here, I'm looking at Korea Diamond Plus, right? And what I'm doing is I'm looking through items. That's why I said I needed to look at itemization. And to me, you know, Leandri's does okay, and it, you know, it's got the high win rate, right? But you also need to factor in like sample size as well as, you know, utility and tankiness and beefiness and all that stuff. Here you've got 800 game sample and Diamond Plus. These guys are largely winning. The guys that push Rylai's first are largely winning. And just overall, Rylai's is 600 gold cheaper. And so in my head, I'm just looking at this thinking like, okay, this guy is trying to buy damage, which is valuable, sure. But my belief in solo queue and just low elo in general is just like beefier is better. So as usual, when it comes to these types of builds in solo queue, you can clearly see that if you're pushing a Rylai's into like a Jock Show or a Zonia's, if you're pushing tankier stuff, these guys are winning with it. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
So I just feel like what... All right, so let's explain where Swain gets his value. So Swain's value as a champion, in my experience, is if he gets a kill or two, he's just he skips scaling so fast. Like there's no, it's almost like he just moves into late game so quickly as opposed to other champions. So like if you pick up a kill or two and you itemize beefy like this, you just kind of walk at people and win. And if we can get to that fantasy, that would be ideal for climbing. When you're doing Leandri's, yes, it does damage, but we don't give a fuck because we're going to get killed more often and we're not going to be able to take up as much space. And again, that's all like low elo. I'm telling you right now. I mean, this is even Diamond Plus. Do you understand? Diamond Plus Korea. This is people that can kite and shit. Like,
yeah.
So like, if they're winning, largely winning, going like a beefier build, I'm always going to recommend for you in lower elo, this is going to be the preferred build every time.
We'll try it today.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. I you know, there's a ton of evidence of me, you know, over the years playing champions beefier and winning more because of it. And then this champion in particular just gets a ton of value with that type of itemization. And again, Rylai's is super cheap, so you're going to be able to push out an item earlier when you get rolling.
Right.
It's going to feel a lot stronger. And then when you ult people, they're not going to be able to walk away. It's brutal.
Right. No, I'll definitely give it a try tonight.
Yeah. Not to mention every Swain that's beaten me, that's the build they run. And that's in mid.
Yeah, he's definitely seen a lot more in mid than support now.
I've gotten beaten up by some Swains in Korea because Tryndamere isn't great into it. Like you can only really build like Bork, and that's just an awkward path to hit a Swain, you know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I mean, overall, the early lane looks pretty reasonable. You're doing big things here. You're hitting grabs. Your ADC is kind of questionable, but at the same time, you're not really bringing your ADC much more than damage, right? This is kind of a trade-off.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're solo killing this guy. This look good. So you pull back.
Oh, I did get out. Yeah.
Yeah, you pulled the kill and then recall. Recall's fine. I don't really see a problem with it. You had no mana. Good ults. Yeah, let's watch this back over.
I know, I was tunneling on the ADC.
Yeah, when I watch this, yeah, it does seem really bad to just leave her there.
Yeah. I guess I thought, like, I can't kill Rel, you know.
Right.
That was my thought process, but now watching it, I'm like, yeah, I've kind of left it there.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, when you're in these situations, remember that if you can get gold on your ADC, that's always valuable. And so, like, when I see my ADC is like, I mean, it's low elo, so gold on the ADC might not matter that much. But, like, just as a rule of thumb in the games I play, it's like, anytime my ADC is free hitting, I really want them to get gold. And, like,
Sure.
if I can make sure that they get the gold at least before they go down, that's always valuable because their job's pretty easy once they get money. They just right-click shit. If they're able to free right-click, they're probably going to win.
Right.
And Swain takes up a lot of space, so they are going to be able to do that.
Low Rel is, like, I did get the kill on Rel, right?
Right.
So seeing how low she was, if I actually stood there and started
Right.
pummeling her with my Q, like, we probably would have picked it up faster. Vayne wouldn't have wanted to come back at that.
And there's also an argument for your grab and just flinging it out instead of using it to peel. So you could basically just, like, if you back up, if you could stay calm, cool, and collected in a spot like this, you need to realize they're engaging us in our ult, which is pretty bad for them. Like I said, because that's what Swain does best. If you fight Swain in his ult, it's kind of like a Lowy, right? It's not going to go very well. So here, you know, I see you fling out this E. You're trying to kill people instead of thinking, well, I'm already in the power position. Why not just slow play the E and protect the Kai'Sa? Is what I'd be thinking.
I hear you.
Because right here, they're just going to, you know, they're going to wiggle around. Vayne's going to Q. But see, when they commit to the Kai'Sa, you could just calmly throw the E from there.
Right.
And make life a lot easier. Or just use it to peel off the Diana before she gets close. Like, there's lots of different ways that you could play this out. Basically, what I tell people is when you've got a big health lead, play your, you know, bait your health bar. Play it slow.
Yeah.
You got all the time in the world. But I mean, honestly, like bronze, like laning and stuff, this didn't really look that bad. It wasn't like you were just doing dumb shit. I mean, you're throwing out abilities, you're pressuring, you're autoing, you're trying to do stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's not like you're just useless and not, you know, you look pretty active based on this VOD, at least. Yeah, you're responding quick to you ult there. Yeah.
No, I have to get out of here.
All right, you leave.
I see them. I want to save them.
Now this is not.
That was too dumb. Yeah, I was too greedy.
So, well, let's talk about why it's dumb though, so you can try to avoid it. So, in a spot like this, keep it simple. That's what I tell everybody. Just keep it simple. This game is turn-based. I know it's not actually turn-based, but like, I always try to frame things up simple so that you can keep little rules for yourself. I like little rules to follow. I say things like on invades, I say like 4 or more, right? I say like if you got a level lead challenge, little rules to follow that you can kind of bend as you get more experienced. Okay. It's a really good way to view this game and also simplify it. Here, you've got no ult. You've got no sums. And you're just going for a really aggressive line without any backup plan at all. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So just get in the habit of when you think to do in League. League is a game that just punishes you for overplaying often. That's just how it's designed. Right? That's why there's cooldowns. That's why there's waves. The waves push, the waves pull. There's, you know, home guards when you die so you can run into the middle of the map faster. There's plates that you could greed for. When you're winning the game, you push out further so you're more likely to get caught. There's comeback XP. There's bounties. Do you see where I'm going with this? There's all these things that are that are basically designed to gotcha.
Right.
Now, this is you getting gotcha'd because you say, oh, there's a low health target. I got to do this. But wait, you're in a pretty good... Oh, I hate when it does this replay bug. You're in a pretty good position right now where you don't have to do this. And you don't have any backup plan. You have no ult. You have no flash. And you're just like, I got to go. Like, I got to try this. You're good. This guy's low. Back is a win. You could try to stop his back with your W, maybe. But, like, you don't have to go all crazy behind tower any of this fancy shit.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And again, it's just purely because you don't have a backup plan. You don't have a flash. Like, if you had a flash and you wanted to fuck around and test some stuff, sure, fine. Sure. I wouldn't agree with it, but you could at least sell it to me better.
I hear you.
But this just means that we're hoping that our opponent like, think about the situation where this is going to work. Your opponent is open to shop and doesn't respond to you at all. And you just get the full combo him because he's asleep at the keyboard. And we have no sums and no ult. So, see, he responds because he's not asleep. And now you're caught.
Yep.
So that's why I set those rules that way. 12:22. Let me reload this because of that stupid bug. $12.22. All right. I mean, you're just chilling, getting free gold this game, it looks like.
Yeah, like I said, we won this lane pretty hard, but then it was post laning phase where everything went to shit.
So right here, you've won the lane like you said, and what are you thinking right here?
Now I'm thinking I need to help other lanes win.
Okay, that's fair. Every time you leave base, you should be holding tab. I'd be playing more towards mid because you got a dragon in 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go mid. Let's see what you do. Oh, no, we're not. All right.
I see a fight right now.
Yeah. You feel like you have to help.
Yes.
Are you guys clean house? How do we lose this game?
Great question.
Well, why are we farming red?
Because Hecarim left it there.
Hmm?
Because Hecarim left it there. I wanted the gold.
You wanted the gold? I mean, there's yeah, this has got to be removed from your arsenal of moves. Taking red buff as a support mage from your team is a illegal move. It's an illegal move.
I won't do it again.
Yeah, that's not a move you ever make. There's so much more things that we could be doing as a support other than sitting at red, losing our entire health bar, and our ward item just completed, and we're using this opportunity to ward dragon. The 1v1 a red. Look at this. That was like an eternity. Now, kind of a goofy move there. Things are starting to demystify a bit. All right, you got the pink down. You got the wards down. All right, right away, this guy should not be allowed to move here. And you, like, how much damage do you think you are doing to this objective right now? Be honest.
Not a heck of a whole lot.
Right, not a lot. Where do you think your damage would be better suited?
On the guy trying to...
Right, I think so. And I think that you need to understand that there's an immense value in your zoning right now. And you know, you have this item still, the stopwatch, right? So why not just, instead of sitting at these objectives, because right now you have this goofy habit of well, the red buff thing was weird, but this is also goofy because you're just sitting on this objective. Why not instead, when you see the Twitch move like this, you should just move here and just say no. Like, you can't come here. Why is he allowed to even be here? I don't even understand how he's allowed to stand here. You're winning your lane, right? You have an item completed. Yes, he's a high level. I give you that. But this is, again, one of those exceptions to the rule. That's a squishy champ with no tanky stats. And you have more gold on you than he has. This is why it's important to hold tab and check this shit. Look at how much shit you have. Completed item, boots, arm guard, stopwatch in case you're losing, and ward item. Make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, we're never flashing out. Yeah, we're never flashing out here. So let's go back to the mechanics of this fight. So first things first is you give this guy position. That bush is your bush. If you had, because you had vision, you could have walked to this bush and just like clapped this dude. When he tried to walk up, you could have grabbed him, ulted, and walked at him with stopwatch, and he's just dead to rights. So we missed that kill. Now the fight's gonna break out. Now here, you are just pounding on this dragon over and over again. You're so tunneled on it. Now we finally go on Diana. Now your choice is, instead of stopwatching, looking for a grab into stopwatch, you flash away first. I hate that.
Jeez, I thought my was on cooldown or something still.
Well, either way, like, you should be very, very confident as Swain with a stopwatch in these spots. Again, it tells me that you don't know how strong you are. You let a guy walk up to dragon, and then the dragon fight breaks out. It's a good spot for Swain. You have an item. It's not like you're poor. You have a stopwatch, and you're playing like you're so scared. And then you're like just auto attacking this dragon. Remember that your responsibility in fights is grab squishy motherfuckers and walk at them with your ult. That's your job. Okay? That's as simple as it gets. If there's a squishy motherfucker nearby, try to grab his ass and waddle at him with ult. If you get low, you stopwatch. The end.
Got it.
Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just, I like, you know, if I have an ult and I have a stopwatch, I'm God. Especially if I have an item lead. Remember what I told you about Swain and snowballing. You played this fight like you were scared shitless. And as a result, you didn't get nearly as much value as you probably should have. If you run at them back here, when you ult, I would legitimately be walking at this Twitch in a straight line. Or, alternatively, walking down towards this vein and getting away from the Twitch and waiting till I had a grab. Yeah, I would have really liked to stopwatch there. But anyways. We get out. Uh-oh. We're now having a newbie moment. We're pushing tier 2 tower. So this play as a support after lane phase, you never do this, okay? I shouldn't say never. I should say I shouldn't say never, but I should say in the mid game, you don't come down here unless your entire team's down here. You can ward around here, but you don't come down here unless your entire team's here and we're sieging as a team. Because you guys are about to get wiped.
Kaisa go by herself?
Yep, and stay mid. Yep. Let her side lane, whatever. Go help your team. So you're probably wondering, NEACE, why would you say that? Well, because what's going to happen is if the enemy team collapses on you, you're just dead here. I use the example of split pushing with Tryndamere a lot, where nothing pisses me off more than when I'm split pushing and my team like hovers around me all weird and shit. Same thing here. If they come down here and kill you and the ADC, the map, you just lose all map pressure. If you must come down here, don't just push it like a noob. Hide in the bushes and actually bait your teammate or something. Do something sneaky. These like side lane, deep side lane pushes, especially on bot side, are usually really bad and indicative of somebody that doesn't have a mid game idea yet. Because the map will always just collapse on you and you're just going to die. And it's going to happen often. Here, you guys don't die for it, but you don't really do anything either. All you do is take your ADC's XP, you split it 2 ways. Which I guess you could have done as long as you're like in a bush or something again. Because at least that way, if they gank your ADC, you might have a play because they might not think you're there, right?
Right.
I guess this is one of those like moments where like I know that I sound like really dismissive of this idea, but it's not without reason. You need to realize that pushing for tier 2 solo used to be okay, or pushing for tier 2s as a bot lane used to be okay. Nowadays, it's just not a very good move because it pushes you so far away from objectives, and the moment that you die, the map is just, it's just super bad. If two team members die down here, the game just kind of like implodes. And that's why you just don't push up that deep anymore. You usually would hover around mid most of the time. At least to your credit. Okay, so this is a little bit more sensible because your whole team's here.
Right.
This isn't as bad at all. Okay.
So now I try to get the fight shit.
The only reason I'm watching this out is because I'm curious how we lose. I would already be doing a game right now with you, but I just want to know, you know?
Okay. It's all good.
It's like an interesting loss for sure.
I'd say. Yeah, I agree with you there. And to be honest, I haven't watched this all out myself again. A couple days ago or whatever, but it's good to look at these again, you know.
Oh yeah. You should. Any hard losses are the ones I look at.
Again here, I think. No, we don't get so long. It must have been the next one.
All right. I don't hear a lot of pings after taking drag, so let's see what the map looks like. So your team is like going out to siege and you're backing. I wish, hold on, 2237. Let me reload this because again, I hate that bug and I want to see your gold.
Gold, yeah.
2237. Whenever my teammates are doing something proactive like this as a support, even if you don't like it and you want to ping them off, leaving them like this out in the middle of the map by themselves is really, really bad. You didn't have a ton of gold by the look of it. You're getting wards probably, it looks like.
If I was out of wards, then that would
Yeah.
be that.
You're getting wards.
Yep, I'd pick up all. Yeah, I was out of wards.
Now your team's about to die because,
Not there.
right, we go home. I'm with you, by the way, on, oh wow, yeah, it's getting ugly.
Yes, I remember what I was thinking now. I thought the next objective is Baron. I need to get wards down there, and I was out of wards.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, try to at least ping them off. You're just silent.
Yeah.
This is a cool angle by you to try to like protect the Pantheon. I like how you're out of vision. I don't know if you did that intentionally or if you know to do that. But that's pretty good to kind of hide off to the side.
Yeah, I was doing that on purpose.
Tom, I see you struggling. I can't help you right now, man, because I'm coaching, but yeah. Yeah, you need to walk in the back line.
I thought the Alawi ult would do a lot more than it did. I didn't realize how weak Alawi was.
But it doesn't. But the thing is that I mean, okay.
They were all stacked, you know.
Right. But the reason she didn't get much value is because she missed her ult, anyways. But I don't like how you're moving here. You need to go backline and just Sonya's this. You know what I mean? You keep playing your ult like a sissy. If you're gonna do it, sync it up with your E. So like here, you're about to go in without your E. Ready? 2 seconds. Now you do have your E up, but you're backing up. Fuck that. Just walk forward. Fuck it. You know what I mean? You need to get the max value out of these types of stands if you're going to make them.
Right. I could have blown up Twitch for sure.
Right. And I think this is kind of a reoccurring theme. I haven't seen you make a full-on commitment. It's like you don't think you're strong or something. It's very weird. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't see us getting as much value as we probably should have. And honestly, I said itemization's a little goofy. I mean, that's part of it, I guess, but like, that's not really the whole story. Because if you were just in these fights and actually committing to them, you'd be getting a lot more value. But right now, you keep giving. Remember the combo that you're looking for. Don't just fling your E out. Really look at the target you want, because you're doing the newbie thing of, well, let's just watch this E randomly before you decide to make a stand. Ready? Wait, it was before that. Hold on. All right, here we go.
I eat Rel here.
Ready? Yeah, exactly. Watch. You're flinging. What the hell's the point of that? There's no play there. You see what I mean? What's the point of E in the Twitch?
I guess I was thinking just to get some damage on him.
Right. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's useless damage. Right. Like if you're in an ARAM situation, poking is fine, but you also have to adjust. Like if I'm going to throw this E, that means I cannot make a stand now until it's back up. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that in League, it's usually better to charge up a big punch instead of little mini ones. Right. Especially with a champion like Swain, where, you know, we have to make a big dramatic backline dive. Because I guess why I'm nitpicking this in particular is because it really bothers me that when we decided to make a stand, we never have our E with it. Look. See that? E, ult, go. Walk to back line. Zonia's, play it out.
Yep.
Never close your eyes and ult because, oh, my teammates are doing stuff. I mean, maybe if they engage for you, but never like do this kind of like flaccid, oh, I'm just going to ult because my teammate's caught. And like, that's not good. That means we fucked up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Make sense?